not the podcast you are looking for.
If you're looking for the same old content delivered by the same old people, you are on the wrong pod.
This podcast has life form. You are listening to Stash and Lash.
You're listening to Stash and Lash, the show where we talk about everything that unites us as Mexicans.
One living in the U.S. and one living in Mexico. The Stash and Lash Show. Is this thing on?
What is up, everybody? We are in the week of Christmas. We're getting close to the big event. I am one of your hosts. I am Anastasio, along with
The Lash. Welcome back, everybody.
How are you feeling, Lasho? I know that you've been under the weather. Are you still trying to deal with, with the illness?
I'm still dealing with a little runny nose here and there, and the raspy voice, and all that jazz. But I'm better, and I'm getting through it. So bear with me, people, because the voice is still here.
The voice has not gone away. So are you ready to do a second take on the smelly cat?
Oh my
Ready
God.
for a
Okay.
take two?
Okay. Our ratings are going to drop. Our subscribers are going to be like, I'm done. But let's give it a go. Again, you're like,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You got this. It's all you. Let's go. Take two. Let's go.
Smelly cat, what are they feeding you? Smelly cat, it's not your fault.
Yeah, she redeemed herself. Look at that. I think you've
Yay!
been practicing. I like it.
Maybe.
I'm proud of you.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, you got to take advantage of that, that voice until it goes back to normal. So yeah, why not?
Yeah, I need to practice like on voice notes and like, hey, I need something
Record
right now. Can you
Yeah.
exactly?
My folks in Mexico City, they're gonna see her in a local, bar performing.
I need a guitar.
Yeah, you do.
Okay, we have a concert outside.
I know.
sorry.
What's going on? I mean,
I don't know.
it's because
I
you were
don't know.
singing.
Oh my God! Exactly.
You got
That's
fans.
perfect.
G.
That's
like,
perfect.
They're
I'm
like, that was
sorry.
perfect. All the neighbors are like, "What's going on? Who started it?"
Exactly. What happened? Okay.
Well, back to the show. So folks, once again, thank you for watching, hearing us, listening to us, watching us. We're gonna take this time again to remind everybody, hey, show us your love and support. Don't forget, please, subscribe, hit the like button, follow us on your audio platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is. We need that love and support. We need to know, hey, are you following us? We want to see you. We want to hear from you. So please don't forget to hit subscribe. And that is enough for the promotion or the, hey, come on back, or listen to us. It's now let's get to the content. Today is about traditions of Christmas traditions specifically. What is celebrated in Mexico and how it's celebrated here in the U.S. We'll share some of the traditions that we know. I know there's probably a lot more. And this is where we like to have your participation, right, G? Is like, tell us, what do we miss? What traditions do you have in Mexico or in the U.S. that maybe we didn't cover today, right?
Exactly. And again, going back to the main purpose of the show, like seeing, again, we're both Mexican, but I'm living in Mexico and he's not. So what do we keep as a tradition as Mexicans? What he adopts as a U.S. citizen. And it's going to be interesting because maybe we still share a lot of traditions. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure a lot of them. And again, a lot of, Mexican Americans here in the U.S. probably some, go, oh my gosh, like I grew up, I never thought this was a staple from Mexico or whatever, right? It's just all about, getting to know and understanding and getting a little bit more of an insight from both perspectives. So with that, I think we start off with G first, and you're going to share us some of your traditions in Mexico. What is it that you do during this holiday, this Christmas season? And then I'll, ask some questions or let you know, actually, we do something like that también in my family. Fair enough?
Sure.
Let's
So
do this.
let's do this. So yeah, Christmas is celebrated pretty much around the world, but we have like very specific things and traditions and food that happen specifically in Mexico. And as you know, las piñatas, like it's a staple of Mexico, not only on Christmas, on birthdays, on celebrations overall. But what is very common on Christmas is that we have this kind of piñata that resembles a star, and it has los picos, los conos. How do you call those?
Cones. Yeah, you can
Cones.
say cones or
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Huh?
And the little fringe, and it's very colorful. And that is the kind of piñata that we use in posadas that we are going to be talking a little bit further. But usually, as you all know, piñatas are stuffed with candy. And in this case, specifically on Christmas, they're stuffed also with fruit. Con caña de azúcar, guayabas, naranjas, mandarinas, all that jazz, all that beautiful and seasonal fruits. And yeah, you can get a lot of candy, and also you can get fruit. So what happens with las posadas, which are celebrated from the 16th of December until Christmas Eve, is that you get along with all your neighbors or your friends or your family members, and you make a little celebration, and you sing, and you knock on somebody's door and ask in la posada, which means that if you can please let me be at your home, can you please let me stay, because that's what Jose and Mary did back in the tradition. And you ask, and it's yeah, exactly, and there's all this ceremony.
It seems like there's a lot of symbolism, right? So the symbolism of, for example, you said the star, which is, the star, that the North Star, that showed that he was born, right? That, in the Christian traditions and festivities.
Yeah.
And then you talk about, it's when, Mary and Joseph were knocking on the door trying to find a place to stay, and of course they couldn't, so they found a stable. So kind of replicating that whole scene, right? That's it's kind of what I when I was a part of it, I didn't understand that at first, but then now as I got older, because I didn't do this every year, here in the US. I started doing it a few times when I went to a family's home, or the last few years we've been doing it with my mom when we had neighbors come over. And actually, let me know if I'm correct here, because even in the Catholic religion, leading up to Christmas, they also do like La Dia de la Virgen, no? Is that about the same kind of?
That's December 12th. Yes.
December 12th, right?
La Virgen de Guadalupe, yeah. That's
the
the
Guadalupe. And that's like also like kind of leading up, and then that's over.
Yeah, because La Virgen de Guadalupe is pregnant. If you can see the picture of La Virgen de Guadalupe, de la Guadalupe, she's pregnant. And yeah, exactly. It leads to Christmas. Exactly.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. So again, that's something I'm very familiar with. I've been a part of that. And then one of the things that you showed or actually shared with me is that there's like an actual like song, right? That you would sing.
It's called Letanía.
Uh-huh.
It is like a song, but what happens is that if you are doing this, like for example in your neighborhood, and there's one house specifically that it's working as la posada, and all the other neighbors gather around with little candles and with figures of Jesus, Joseph and Mary, and like cargando los peregrinos, that's the name. And you go knocking, and hey, en el nombre del cielo, that's where this song comes along. So it's something like this. I'm sorry if I destroy your ears.
It's okay. Well, the dogs will accompany you.
The dogs will come along again. So what happens is that the people from outside sing one part, and the people that are inside the house sing another part. So it's en el nombre del cielo os pido posada, pues no puede andar mi esposa ama. So you have to do all the like the little exactly. Do you know that, right?
Yeah,
it rings bells. And the people from the inside, aquí no es meso. And so you go back and forth until it's like the last part of the song is that you okay, come in, and it's a big party and it's a big celebration because you let the people inside, and that's
awesome.
where the tradition collides.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I love that, right? And that's just what we love to, as during the season, it's about family, it's about gathering, it's all
Hmm.
this, and that's beautiful. Yeah, when I did that, it was pretty cool. I loved it. I enjoyed it a lot. The piñata part too, I noticed like in the picture there, it's not just the kids, also some of the grown-ups get involved. Is
Oh,
that
of course, everybody gets involved, and I remember this because when I was younger, when we came back from the United States, we were living with an aunt for a couple of years, and in her neighborhood in su colonia, they did this every year, and I remember I was so excited every time December 16 hit because I knew it was every night it was going to be a party, like at this house or that house. And I remember when it got to our house, and it was amazing because everybody had to make a dish, or they make chocolate caliente or coffee for the grown-ups, or choco milk for the younger ones, and you gave up away little bags of candy and the piñata. It was so much fun. Nowadays, I think that tradition is kind of lost because, as you know, unfortunately, it's not very safe anymore. And because I remember this, we as kids, this was back in 88, 87, something like that. And I remember we could go outside the street and run and play and whatever, and it was completely fine. And nowadays, I don't think it's very, very safe. So that's very sad. But yeah, it was so much fun because you got to share and be with a lot of neighbors and the little kids and everybody came together to have a great time. So yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, and I love that. That's the best part of it, is like every night is something, right? There's somebody's house. I love that somebody's offering, whether it's hot chocolate or whether it's we're going to talk about it here in a second, but there's various sorts of food that we enjoy, and a lot of people are just opening up their home, right? And
Yeah.
like you said, it's probably changed a lot too since the whole COVID season. Probably there was maybe a year or two that it was nothing, maybe just very, very small. Hopefully we'll get to see more and more of that back again, but it's one of the things, right, that we had to make adjustments for, and it was, hopefully people are missing it, I imagine, también.
Yeah, the new generations, for sure. I mean, if you are living maybe in a closed fraccionamiento, or where you're like very controlled with security and everything, maybe you are able to let your kids like run and up and down the street. But if not, it can get a little complicated. But yeah, unfortunately, kids are not able right now as much anymore. So yeah, I'm grateful I had the chance to live that as a little kid.
Yeah, right. Those memories that you get to share and remember.
Of course.
So another drink that you mentioned, so you mentioned hot chocolate and chocomil, but another beverage that I really enjoy is this, right? El ponche,
El ponche navideño, of course, and that's very Mexican. And yeah, this is a hot beverage made out of fruit, guayaba, caña. These little round things are called tejocotes, that I think that are very local. I don't know if you can find them outside.
No, I mean, they get it. I mean, we can find them in like stores, but it's not very common, right?
It's not very common. It's very seasonal.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's very seasonal. And canela and piloncillo, of course, which is a kind of sweetener that we use a lot in Mexican gastronomy, and it's delicious, and it's a staple. Also, tamarindo. It has little balls of tamarindo, so it's delicious. It's sweet, but it's very. I mean, the minute you start boiling all the ingredients, you can start smelling, and it's Christmas all over. Yes, it's delicious.
And now, can you also spike it with your little bit of your favorite adult beverage?
Con piquete. I think so. I think you can do that. Never done it. Maybe this can be the first year I do it, because my mom every year is ponche, and she makes like this whole gigantic amount of it, and I'm going to try. And
I want to say that you can definitely. I mean, if you're watching and listening, if you've done it with any kind of your favorite, alcohol beverage, let us know, because I can.
What kind of?
I would say rum will probably be good. Rum
Yeah.
is always good
Rum.
with a punch. I would say, tequila. I'm pretty sure tequila can go with this.
Yeah.
But I would also say the last one is kind of like a darker, like a whiskey or a scotch or something like that, bourbon. Yeah. I'm going to try it. I'll give it a try.
We'll have to try. And we'll come back with the results for sure.
I know we should have done it back. We'll take a video of us trying. All right, so there's that, and I love that. And again, very familiar with it. I think when you mentioned caña for the English one, that's sugarcane. So
sugarcane. Yeah.
Oh man, and you know what? I haven't had sugarcane like I had in Mexico. In Mexico, you even see it like in. I remember having it too when you would celebrate, like your local, Catholic church would have like their Saints Day or like a big carnival, and they would always have it también, and they would sell it in little bags, and you just put it in your mouth, and you just chew on it. You just bite
exactly, and you get the sweetness. Yes.
I don't, and then here it's dried. It's it's not fresh, so it's not the same.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, no, we don't have that. I missed it. All right, so this I never seen. I don't even know. ¿Qué es esto? What is this?
Okay, this is controversial because I love it. I absolutely love it. And my grandma used to make the best romeritos. It's called romeritos. So what it is basically a little herb plant. I don't know if you're familiar with acelgas and something. Well, it's like I don't know. I don't want to mess this up, but it's a herb, like grass even. Like it's very tiny and it's very large and pointy and it's tiny. And you cook
Does it look like alfalfa or something? Like
maybe, yeah.
Greenish,
okay, yeah, something like that. And you, it's like a stew, and it's with mole, potatoes, nopales, and dry shrimp.
So
maybe
it's very vegetarian.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely vegetarian, except the shrimp. But it's absolutely delicious. I personally love it. I always look forward to torta de romeritos. Like I just take bolillo, I stuff it with a lot of romeritos, and that's it. That's my Christmas dinner. I will be like completely happy if I have torta de romeritos. Yes, exactly. But a lot of people don't like it. It's not for everyone. The shrimp flavor is very strong because it's dry, so it's very concentrated. But again, like I always say, if you don't like it, it's probably because it's not well made. That's my philosophy. Like maybe you should try it. Maybe you should try it from another person or another restaurant or whatever. But personally, is a favorite. Romeritos. Ask your mom.
See if she's familiar with it. Yeah, because I'm familiar with the dry shrimp, and that's super strong. And I remember having like dry, like little fishes también. What are those little fishes?
Charales.
Oh gosh, charales. I hate it. Oh,
I don't like those.
Salty, and people just eat them like that. I'm like,
those so I don't like.
But that's very concentrated. When you said concentrate, I thought of that because it is a strong smell.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, again, it's not for. I'm completely aware. This is like I always see this trend on Twitter around this time of year because, like, everybody's like, you don't like romeritos, or do you like them or not? Like it's like the eternal discussion. But personally, again, my grandma used to make the best romeritos I've ever tried, and my in-laws also love them. They didn't like them before until my abuelita sent them topper con romeritos, and they were like in love. So yeah, that's my philosophy. So if you don't like them, maybe you should try them from another person, recipe, or restaurant, and give them a second chance because they're stable and they're delicious.
Yeah, so if you try romeritos, let us know your perspective. Did you like them? Did you not? Where are you at on this? Maybe you haven't had them, like Jay said, from a reputable source.
Yeah.
All right. Well, going back to the food element, we brought this up earlier when we talked about the piñata and posada. So this is like a nice image that I saw or that you shared of what that looks like, right? You talked about it's not just candy. You're talking about different fruits, and there's like the oranges, the sugar cane, and the sugar cane's like not even peeled, right? It's like sometimes it could be like a stick.
Yeah, you get because if you think about it, if you put those peeled inside the piñata, it's gonna be a mess.
That's true. That's
So
true.
if
It's
you
kind of like a
get
banana, right? If you put a banana, well, you have the layer of the peel to protect
Yeah.
it, so that way
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of like it's
and what happened is that you stuff the piñata with all this good stuff you see right here, even cacahuates, peanuts, like right there, you can see the cacahuates inside the piñata. And the piñata breaks and everybody's happy and you get this piece of fruit and you can see right there the little kids like ripping off the caña, yeah, and eating it.
They're like,
it's
"I
like
want
part
it."
of the tradition. Exactly.
Wow. And talk about good health, good dental insurance.
Exactly.
Um,
And also, in La Posada, you can also give little bags of candy to the
yeah,
little kids.
that's awesome. Yeah, I remember that too. The little candy. Now, when it comes to when it comes to piñatas, we're very familiar with it here, right? Being in Mexico and the U.S., Mexican living in the U.S. I imagine there's always a thing you got to be careful, right? There's always that one kid or adult that just jumps ahead and can get hit with the piñata, or someone throws the stick. There's usually some kind of accident.
Accidents.
You have to be careful. Now, do they also sing during this too? Is that same song with the dale, dale, dale?
No pierdas el tiro, porque si lo pierdes el camino.
Yeah, okay.
Ya
And
le
that's
diste
basically
una, ya le diste dos, ya
Yep.
le diste tres y tu tiempo se
Se
acabó.
acabó. And that's basically telling you that your time is up, right?
It's up.
So you only have until that song ends. And
Yeah.
the next kid.
And the next kid, yeah.
Yeah. Now,
And,
are you
and usually
are you for
Yeah.
blindfold or no blindfold, or depending on the age of the kid?
Oh, that's a good one. I don't know. I if you're in like in an open space, maybe blindfold, but I don't know. Well, these days it's like changed a lot. I mean, back in the day, you'll get this piñatas made of ollas de barro, of
Whoa,
clay.
Really?
Of clay, so it was
Okay.
very easy to break at some
Yeah.
point, but at the same time it was dangerous because all those little pieces of clay like fly all over the place, and little kids like jump to get all the candy will
eyeballs.
get like exactly like cuts and whatever. So they transitioned to piñatas de
Paper
papel,
mache, no? The
exactly,
papel, yeah.
papel, but they're so
Hard to break.
and it's annoying because you get like this endless kids like
yeah.
going
That's why,
again
yeah.
and again and then again until a grown-up like comes along and like says F it and just break it, and exactly. And
Again, yeah.
also the accident rate just decreased dramatically because el palo is no longer like super hard. So it's like also like soft because it never fails that if you are like trying to hit the piñata, somebody exactly, and you can get like a horrible chichon en la cabeza.
Times are changing.
Times are changing. So that's
but I remember too that
easier for the kids
even the stick would be decorated también, right? They'll be all colorful
with ribbon and colors, and yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Again, we have the same situation here, right? Those piñatas could be hard. I think, yeah, there's a threshold. I think little kids just go for it. But once you get the bigger kids, I mean, they're going to destroy it. Sometimes you have to have at least a backup piñata, because if one gets destroyed early, like everybody's like, oh, that was fast.
Oh,
So
one
always have a
piñata is
backup.
never enough.
No, you
one
got to have 2
piñata
to
is
3.
never enough. Yeah, of course.
So here's again, what you talked about, right? People singing with the posada. You have a candle. A sparkler también works too. I've seen sparkler.
Yeah, little sparklers. Yeah, from when you get like the big entrance to the house with the Letania song that we talked about earlier. When everybody's like, yay, we got in or whatever, and it's like, yay, celebration. You like the little sparklers, and because everybody like has this little candle because they're asking for la posada, but once you're inside, like that candle transforms into the sparkler.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then we have, of course, this is definitely a big staple here, is tamales también. Oh gosh, you can't have during the Christmas season without tamales. And
Of course.
it's becoming in the U.S., especially more like in the Southwest states here. Very common. You even have Americanos and all that always looking, hey, who's selling tamales? They're always looking for people to buy tamales. It's because it's a hustle. People make it and sell tamales, families to pay for their Christmases. So, tell me about the Mexican.
What's your favorite kind of tamal?
I don't know if it's traditional, but I like the red pork. The red pork.
El de mole rojo.
Or mole rojo, sure. That's good. Yeah,
that's my favorite too. Also the sweet one, the pink one.
The pink
El tamal
one.
de dulce. The traditional.
Because I've seen the dulces. The red one, what is that made out of? I know I've tasted it, but I don't know what it's made out of.
I don't know exactly what it's made of, but it's just sweet and it has like little raisins inside. But it's just the color of the tamal. I think it's just sweetened.
I've seen one was like one was like pineapple, maybe.
Nowadays
variations.
You can find a lot of kinds of sweet tamal. There's also this pink
Rajas.
one variation with guayaba, which is very good because it has like guayaba jelly inside, and it's very good. But yeah, the traditional tamales are verde, de pollo con salsa verde, mole con carne. And rajas, of course, because it's rajas con queso.
Con queso. That's my least favorite. That's my least favorite.
Yeah. And el de dulce. Those are like the 4 traditional tamal flavors. At least I don't want to get heat right now because, as you know, all across the country, there's a lot of kind of tamal. I'm just talking from my experience, from the Mexico City area situation, because in el norte, they have another kind of tamales. In the south, they have another kind that are delicious as well, but they're different. So I'm just speaking of the 4 more popular where I live.
Like when going to Michoacan, and I don't know if it's during this time, maybe it is, but the other one I've had is called like corundas, I think, which is like a different leaf. I don't know if you've ever heard of those, but they're
hoja de tamal.
Like a triangle.
De plátano. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, what's going on?
Yeah, because you normally see this kind of tamal with the hoja de maíz, with the corn. But you also have tamales with hoja de plátano, which is like a dark green leaf. There's a lot of kind of tamales, and they're all amazing.
They're all delicious.
Speaking from the ones in my
here in the U.S., también, we have variations también, which some have put their own spin. There's a lot of fusion of different tamales now, of maybe like like the Asian fusion of them. I mean, like anything, right? You can always convert and make things. So, what's this though? I don't think I've had this.
That's also a personal favorite. Ensalada de manzana. I think this is pretty much everybody loves it except the raisins, because that's another big controversy. But this is basically apples. Sometimes it can have carrot, like shredded carrot, celery sometimes, a lot of pecans, raisins, what else? And the sauce is crema and sugar y la lechera. I don't know if you're familiar with that, like condensed milk, like very heavy, delicious. And it's absolutely, again, it's delicious. It's a personal favorite. That's why I gave you that picture, because I am completely happy if I have my torta de romeritos and a huge bowl of ensalada de manzana. That's it. I'm happy. I'm completely happy.
Wow. I never had it. I gotta try it, because it definitely is. A lot of the things that I see there, I see a lot of other Mexico staple desserts or food, right? It's always the raisins, very common, and you have the different kind of nueces. Yeah, the shaved carrots. I don't think I had something with shaved carrots on it before, but that sounds good to me.
It's delicious. Good. Again, it's not complicated, but it has like this feeling to it, because maybe somebody can splash a little bit of nutmeg, and it makes it like nutty and spicy, or ginger, and it's delicious. There's a lot of variations again, but the basic one is with apples, carrots, raisins, nuts, celery. It's delicious. I love it.
I gotta try it. I gotta put it in my list. Yummy.
Yep.
All right, next one. Now we're gonna move into like the kind of like the environment, right? The scenes. Like what do you see during this time? And you sent me this picture. I thought it was really awesome because I've been here, right? I've seen this. It's very photogenic, right? It's an Instagram photo place that you want to take a nice picture, but it's typically not this type of flower, right? Or this type of greenery, right? It's something else, or it changes over the years.
It changes. It's seasonal again, and yeah, it's beautiful. Around this time of year, I mean, again, in Dia de Muertos, I probably should send you also a picture from Dia de Muertos because that is full of cempasúchil, which is a very traditional orange flower. And it's beautiful. And a couple of weeks ago, I saw they were starting planting all these nochebuenas. I don't know how you call them in the U.S. What are they called?
They're called. Oh, what are they called? I just looked it up under later. I'll look it up right now. I draw in a blank.
Nochebuenas. Yeah. Nochebuenas. But this beautiful bright red flower.
Poinsettias.
Poinsettias. Okay, first time hearing that.
Poinsettias.
You can find these. Of course, this is El Corredor del Ángel de la Independencia in Reforma in Mexico City. Again, I'm speaking from my hometown. This is my city, and I just yesterday we were like passing by this exact same avenue, and it's so beautiful. It's everything is decorated. You can also see a lot of lights of Nochebuenas and piñatas. This is El Zócalo, el centro histórico de la Ciudad de México, and you can see all the lighting. There's like a main square and a lot of Santa Claus, Los Reyes Magos, a lot of like little you can buy Santa hats, Nochebuenas, you can buy this little sprinklers and a lot of things, and it's very familiar, and you can be with your family and your kids and the lights, and it's so beautiful and so much fun. And it's beautiful.
I remember I've been there and I saw that too. I was just like blown away how big these lighting what is it, displays are, right? They're just huge, and it's all over and looks beautiful at night. It's a great place to walk, to have dinner on top of one of the rooftops, and just kind of seeing that is it's amazing. Wow, gee, I can imagine, right? It's one of those things where like, hey, we're at that time of the season. It maybe brings you back to maybe even like memories that you've had growing up in childhood, just remembering those days.
Yeah, and as a grown-up, you see it differently. I mean, maybe as a kid, you don't appreciate the flowers or how pretty that corridor looks. But as a grown-up, I'm like, this is so beautiful. This is so pretty. And I can only imagine people visiting, tourists, and being like, wow. Like, that's what like gets to me because it is breathtaking.
Yeah. So, we definitely see that now. To transition away from there, there's one thing that I do recall growing up, and then you let me know that it's actually not very common. It's more common during like the Reyes Magos, but when I went a long time ago, when I was maybe in my 10 years old, 11 years old, I went back to Mexico to visit family in Zacatecas, and leading up to Christmas, instead of like stockings or what have you, leading up to Christmas Eve, they would put out their shoes, and I thought that was very interesting. And again, you wake up and there would be either gifts or things inside of it. And this is other countries have something very similar, but you then let me know that actually it's more common during the Reyes Magos. So let me know about that.
Yeah, it's more I mean, I've seen that on Reyes Magos. So okay, again, in Mexico, we are more about Reyes Magos more than Santa Claus. Right now, I mean, kids are all over Santa Claus and Reyes Magos, so it's like double treat, so it's amazing. But this is more of a Reyes Magos tradition. What you do is that you place your shoe under the tree, so that's how the Reyes Magos, the three Reyes Magos, know where to place your presents. So it works like a stocking, because I believe you in the US,
Mm-hmm. We'll
the
talk about
stockings
that.
are like with presents and candy and whatever. It's something like that, but in our in Mexico, it's you place your shoe and you expect to see presents or money or some kind of surprise right there. But it's more in the Reyes Magos tradition.
What month is that again?
January 6th.
January 6th. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, right after New Year's, a week
Yeah.
later. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. So there you go. Something I noticed, and maybe it was during that, but I just somehow connected it with Christmas. Who knows, right? But another thing that, now let's transition more to the U.S., but you're saying this is actually becoming more common there in Mexico. Of course, here we're very familiar with Elf on the Shelf, right? So these like
Yeah.
having this elf and putting it and having to do some funny things. Like my kids love this. Every year they literally thought this elf would come to life, and it would be he or she, it could be a girl elf, but they would be doing these random things in the middle of the night. Next morning, they're like,
Travesuras.
travesuras. What did this elf go into? And we would come up with the most innovative. There's a lot of examples on Instagram. Every year you're getting something new, right? Where they're being very mischievous. Very common here in the U.S. I don't know when it started, but we definitely do it every year. Now my kids are older. They don't, it's not as popular. We just play around at work. We used to work in the office and play around. But what about you? Do you see this more and more now becoming a thing?
2 years ago, maybe, I saw the little elves on the store, and I was like, perfect. I'm going to bring that tradition to my house. And we started last year. And of course we had to, because I have 2 boys, and I placed them like randomly, and we're like, what? They don't get it just yet, but I'm so happy.
Yeah, it's fun when you have 2, because you can have one doing travesura and the other one, right? Like one of them is like putting them in the blender, or
or climbing, and the other one like
trying to push them, or there's I mean, oh my gosh, so that could be like next year we can even do like the most random elf on a shelf pictures out there. People are creative. They find the most random thing, even it's topical, right? So when there's like a famous show, maybe they'll have like a Ted Lasso elf on a shelf doing something. Maybe they'll have when Game of Thrones was popular, maybe they had like a Game of Thrones type of deal, like little dragons, right? People are very creative, and it makes it fun for kids and adults.
And adults, yes, because it can
another
be
one. So now transitioning more to the U.S. When it comes to traditions. I mean, I know in Mexico you guys have árboles también de Navidad, right?
Yeah.
Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Here's a bit big as well, but I don't know in Mexico. Let me know about you, but there's been a transition. In the beginning it was more real. Back in the day, it was a real tree. You would chop it down. You still have that, but it's you're seeing more of the artificial trees, and the artificial trees are looking more real. And it's more, it's easier, to store and redo that. But that's changed over the years. And of course, that's looking even more and more real. You have lit, lights that are already pre-lit. I think it's just becoming easier for us to just plug it in. There it is. It looks good. I think maybe we can even put fake smell to make it smell like a tree.
Yeah.
And in Mexico, do you find the same thing? Is it more the artificial, the fake combination?
Right now, for me, it's an investment. I mean, I prefer to have like an artificial tree that it can last for years, because natural trees, even though they're beautiful and they smell amazing, but they're like very, very expensive. And it's like, it comes to time where you're like, okay, yeah, I want my house to smell amazing, but at the same time, like, I can use this money to buy something else, and I remember there was a time in my life when I was like, I need a real natural tree. I don't care. But I mean, priorities, I guess. Nowadays it's like, okay, and plus I remember this story about a friend that had a natural tree on her house, and they were like decorating, and this huge spider came out of that tree, and they were like, hell no. and the stories like that it's like, you can see a lot of natural trees, but they're expensive, and I don't know, it's maybe not that worth it anymore.
Well, it's funny. I grew up with artificial trees, growing up. So even one time, I think even when we didn't have the money, when I was little, my dad would make one out of lights, right? He would make like a cone he had a hula hoop, and he
Uh-huh.
would put it down, and that would be our tree. Like,
Ah,
it, but eventually we ended up getting some really artificial trees and all that. But then when I recently 3 years ago, I was telling my wife, I'm like, I've never had a real tree, and then she's like, well, let's get one, right? So three
yeah.
years we've had real trees, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's great. I love it. The smell, going and picking it up, driving it, put it on my car. But this year we finally said, you know what, that was great, but we going to the investment, and we got a really nice artificial. It looks really real, and I'm like, okay, that was nice to experience, but I'm
Yeah.
done with that, right? So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and I mean, eventually they get like really messy. You have to clean every now and then because it
Water,
gets like very
yeah.
exactly water it. And I don't know about you, but again, I'm very emotional. And every time I see a natural tree outside or like
Thrown
the
out.
garbage people trucks trying to I like that's so sad. I mean, that
Yeah.
tree was just 3 days ago inside a home, decorated,
Bringing
beautiful,
joy.
bringing
Yeah.
joy and whatever, and now it's like all dry and all I know, I don't know. I don't know. I remember one year that we had a natural tree, and that we were like, okay, that's it, it's already dried, it's already January, like we're getting rid of it, and like no, I don't want to get rid of it. And yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, better to have an artificial, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, let us know if you still continue to use, real trees or what have you. But, that's something I experienced. It was great. But no, I definitely go now back to the artificial pre-lit, plug it in, all there. It looks real. It's
Exactly.
easy. And like you said, it's an investment. Now I don't have to worry about buying one every year, right?
I know. I just store it and everybody's happy. And
Yeah.
you can switch every year. Like, okay, we having a red tree this year, and next year is going to be gold with green. Or you know, you can like
Mm. We can even
vamp
talk.
it
That's
up.
another thing I wasn't even thinking about. Like a lot of folks, yeah, they do. They designer trees where they, like you said, they put like a theme.
Mm-hmm.
What we do is more like, we just every year we add an ornament, and it's just all
Mm-hmm.
different kinds of ornaments of memories. So there's a lot of things that you can do
That's
with
a
that.
cute. That's a cute tradition. I want to do that
Yeah.
also. Yeah,
Every year
yeah,
we
yeah.
do. Yeah, my daughter buys me one every time I take her to go see the Nutcracker ballet, and we buy one. So we have all the different years.
Mm-hmm.
So those are just we can go every time you put them up, you remember like, oh, remember this one? Oh, remember that one?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But moving on to the stockings, we talked about the shoes. Yes, very common here in the U.S. Whether you have a chimney or not, you can put them in front of. Sometimes people put it in stairways. Some people put it in front by their tree, or if you have a fireplace, which some people don't, some people do. But again, like the shoes, similar. Mostly is put with either small toys or candies or something like that. Maybe even if it's for adults, it could be like some, beauty products and stuff, right? Like face masks or
Yeah. Lip
whatever
gloss.
that is. Lip gloss. For
You you
for the dads, heartburn medicine like Tums, Rolaids.
You see that more and more in Mexico now.
Yeah,
My
awesome.
boys have each a stocking. You are seeing that even more. But again, we don't stuff it necessarily with presents. I just like a paleta
Decoration.
payaso or chocolate or something like it's just random, and that's it. They're not like looking specifically for something inside the stocking. But you can see this kind of decoration even more in Mexico now.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
interesting how we're starting to see the fusion of things, right?
Yeah.
So like I mean, like the U.S. you're seeing a lot of the tamales, right? That's just like everybody, whether you're
Yeah.
Mexican or not. It's like who's got tamales and where can I get them? That's everybody's addicted to the
Yeah.
tamales here. All
Yeah.
right, then of course here is very big, and I don't know how it is in Mexico. And we saw like the Zocalo and certain things get decorated, but here everybody's home, not everybody, but a lot of homes they decorate and they go all out. Some more than others, depending on how elaborate you want to be. There's always stores sell the latest and greatest decoration to put in your lawn, whether it's a snowman, a Santa Claus, nativity scene. but also individual lights, how creative you can be. It's a thing, and a lot of neighborhoods have competitions too to vote who's got the best house, right? And it's always
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that? Do you see that in Mexico much, or very little? Maybe a couple things here and there.
You can see a house decorated and three they don't decorate. I mean, it's not like a big deal. I had some friends that lived in un fraccionamiento that this close where this houses and security, and like you're like in this. I don't know how you call this.
Like a gated community, like a
Exactly,
gated.
exactly. And there's like, I don't know, like 15 houses, and they're very close, and everybody knows each other, and they will do like contests to see who decorated the most or the best. But you do not see. I mean, you can see a house with lights outside and with a giant snowman balloon, but no. I mean, I think because it's expensive, the service of electricity is expensive overall, so maybe it's not a great idea. But you can see those like occasional lights and balloons and nochebuenas, of course, outside homes, but not as crazy as that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's crazy. Yeah, and you make a good point. Yeah, it is something that, I definitely see as like a luxury thing, right? Like if you have the money to be able to spend on electricity, because it does cost to put that, and they go all crazy.
Yeah, because you don't leave them on for like 10 minutes. You leave them on like hours.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah, all night. Pretty much either like, yeah, there are timers now. I mean, I put mine until midnight, and then once midnight hits, it's shut off. But some people keep it all night, and I'm like, ooh, okay. But one thing I just thought about, G, is, and I think this comes from, I don't know if it comes from Mexico or Latin America, but the paper bags where you put the candles in. Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you seen those? Where it's like, what are those called? They're luminarias, no? Yeah. So those. That's a nice little touch too, and that's another way to decorate. Kind of like your walkway or certain areas, right? All right. So now with the food, kind of going back, I think we talked about this in Thanksgiving. So some American traditions is eating very typical, kind of like almost like a Thanksgiving meal in a way. You have your turkey, your ham, all those things. I don't really eat this for my Thanksgiving. It's more the tamales, the champurrado, the buñuelos, all this other stuff. But this is something that, so a lot of Americans have that, and it's going back to the turkey, the ham.
Yeah.
A lot of sweets. And one of the sweets that I don't like, and you said you'd like, ugh.
Fruitcake.
Ugh.
Again, I'm going to say this again. It's maybe because you haven't had the right fruitcake, my friend.
It's a controversy here. People make fun of it. It's a lot. A lot of people make fun of, when they say, hey, if you don't like somebody and you want to walk, go to their house for a party, bring them a fruitcake.
Yeah, it's controversial as well, but it's a lot of work. Like, it's very luxurious. You get, like, in Mexico, las frutas secas. Like, they're, like, super expensive and super, like, and you use a very high quality rum in my case, because I make a lot of fruitcake to give away to friends and family, because again, I make a killer fruitcake, and it's a lot of work involved. You have to let the fruit marinate with the rum for at least a week, and it's a process. Like, it's a very, I always look at it as a gift from the heart, because it goes, a lot of work goes into it, and I don't care about I don't care if I spend a lot of it on it. I mean, I'm giving it to you because I care about you, because I know it's good, because it's mine, because I made it. But yeah, I'm aware that a lot of people don't like it.
Well, the way you described it doesn't. Yeah, now that you describe it, like, okay, that's probably, again, maybe going back, it's been probably some bad iterations, maybe some quick shortcuts, maybe not the good quality rum, maybe not good quality. I think it all comes down to quality ingredients. Some people just do the cheap stuff or something. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't had, but you never know. Maybe you'll prove me wrong one day when I
hope so. I hope you can be like, oh yeah, okay. I mean, I understand. I like
I
it.
get it now. I get it
Yeah.
now. And it's, that's a list of things. I mean, sugar cookies. I mean, gingerbread men. Cookies are just a staple. I mean, we
Sugar
decorate
cookies.
them. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sugar cookies. We even take the time to, like, a lot of families and a lot of, events, they decorate. They start to pipe and create their own little, pieces, masterpieces. And another one too, when it comes to decorating, is like the gingerbread houses.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of families like to decorate that and have it as a display. You don't eat this. It's
Exactly.
only
Yeah.
for
I was gonna
display.
ask.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. Do you eat that?
Yeah.
No.
No, we typically don't. Now, can somebody do it? Yeah, I guess they could, right? But if it's standing out, a lot of the frosting is royal frosting, so it's really gets really
Uh-huh.
hard,
Yeah.
right? So typically it's for display. Now, maybe you have some kids that love sugar, and maybe they'll bite it at night or sneak in and take. All of a sudden, half your roof is missing. Maybe your kid did it. But it's so creative. You can use so many different kinds of candies, right? Like you see there, it's sky's the limit of what you can
Yeah.
put in there, and
That's
they're fun.
fun.
It's a fun activity to do with kids. Another thing is the advent calendar. I don't know if you do this in Mexico, is when you have like little things where you open either it's a
Open
door,
each
a
day.
drawer, and it's like leading up to Christmas as you're
Yeah.
getting closer
Yeah.
to the holiday. Do you have that?
Yes. Yeah, we do. Especially it's like a very school activity. Specifically my boys, when they were like at school, they every year they did this, and it was so much fun because they were like totally anticipating like what was going to be inside door number 3. So it's fun. Yeah.
And another thing besides the advent calendar, and this is really cool, is that you start to have this is not everybody, right? This is more maybe the more traditional Christmas is the advent itself. In some homes they have like the 4 candles, meaning every week
Mhm.
leading up to Christmas they would light a candle, and also representing, right, you're getting close where Joseph and Mary were getting going and getting close to finding a place. So it's something that a lot of people in the families do as a tradition. They light it. They have every week lit up until all 4 are lit up the day of Christmas. So another more traditional. Now I've never grew up. I never did this growing up, but now recently I've been doing it with my family and my kids, and we light it up and we just talk about it. I think it's really a way to start getting ready for it. Maybe our way of like a similar to a posada in a way, but it's kind of leading up. So.
Okay. That's nice.
And last but not least, talk about parties. We have holiday parties. We have ugly sweater parties. We have, friends and family. I mean, parties everywhere. Constantly parties. You're either invited, you have one. It's just a great opportunity to enjoy time with your family, with kids everywhere, and like all that. Adding the posada or whatever your traditions are, whatever what you like to drink and food and celebrate. Or a lot of company holiday parties, like you said last time, when it comes to Die Hard, they started with the holiday party.
Holiday party. Yeah.
Yeah. They're fun.
When I had a job, those guys knew how to throw parties, like Christmas parties. Like they were like good, and the music and the food, and of course the alcohol. But those were like pretty darn good parties, and I miss those. But okay.
Oh, geez.
Aw.
One day soon. We'll do a virtual.
I'll find a
We'll do a
job.
virtual party.
I'll find a job. So yeah, hey, next year we can do an ugly sweater episode.
Yeah, we could. Do you have do they have do they do ugly sweater parties at Mexico?
It's
Have you been
happening.
part-
It's happening.
starting
It's
to see it
starting to
también?
happen. Yes. The ugly sweater. You can see like certain characters on the sweaters, like Mexican
Yeah.
characters. So yeah, it's happening. Next year we should do an episode wearing
Ugly
an
sweater.
ugly
Yeah, maybe
sweater.
wearing one. I already know what I want to wear. I'm not gonna tell you now, but I already know my pattern.
You already
But
have
see,
it.
there's a couple of things. There's one that's already pre-made, but the ones that are more the traditional ones is you would make it by hand, like you would make it yourself. You would sew things.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why
That
it's
is a
called
tradition.
ugly.
You would make it ugly. Yeah. But put all this
Okay.
stuff on it. But now a lot of it's a lot of people, a lot of companies and stuff are marketing. They're making the pattern.
Yeah.
And do all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I mean, some of them look pretty cool. I don't think they look ugly. Some of them like actually look pretty.
They
cool.
look pretty
So,
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and they even have it for the favorite sports teams, like
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Like I saw Star Wars, like Darth Vader, ugly sweater, and I was like, yes, I need that.
I have the voice, so yes.
Yes, I already have the voice.
So maybe we could talk about that. But yeah, ugly sweaters. There's also like like you saw in the picture, people decorating, dressing up with their hats and elf. This another excuse to party and drink.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
But tell me something. Is Christmas more about family over there, or because the thing is, I'm starting to see that Christmas. Okay, so we here celebrate Christmas Eve and Christmas. So we get together both days. The Christmas Day actually for el recalentado, how you call it, like leftovers, like you have recalentado the next day. And but it's like more family and that. And New Year's, it's more about party, friends, and hanging out, and like it's more like desmadre, if you will. Is that the same in the US?
It is, yeah. So like when you talked about like the holiday parties or friends and stuff, that is any time between now and leading up to Christmas. So we, again, it's just like, it could be this. Actually, I'm going to one. I went to one last weekend. I'm going to one this weekend, right? So it's leading up to it. If somebody wants to invite you, or you want to throw one yourself. And the thing about the more the friends and things like that, co-workers, friends, is that we do some things where it's either called a white elephant or a secret Santa, right? And then the secret Santa is like, you just buy a present. It could be for anybody, but it's, neutral. It could be, or it could be a funny one, like a funny present, right? I think so. One of them that was really popular was, remember the shake weight, where you would be doing like shaking it?
Yes.
That would be one that you get somebody, a shake weight, just something that's a funny, or it could be a bottle of alcohol, whatever. White elephant también, same thing. Like, you would be, Secret Santa is you're given a name, but they don't know that you're gonna buy it for them. The white elephant is where it's like you can steal. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. Yeah. Where, you get a number, then you get to pick one, and then people can go, I want that, I'll steal it. You can only steal twice. That can get pretty heated. A lot of people get upset, and it's a good time, but don't do it after a lot of drinks. Do it before the drinks begin.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet. But yeah, Secret Santa, it's called Amigo Secreto over here.
Okay.
So you do that. You like get all the names, and you get one from like a bag or a hat or something, and you get your name, and you keep it a secret until you can actually give the present to the person. So it's pretty fun. And you actually just get like, hey, you need like to be on this budget limit.
Yep.
And yeah, you can be as creative and funny, and yeah. And if you like the person you're giving a present to, you can give it. But if you don't, you can be like pranky, and it's fun. It's very fun.
It's fun. It's always fun. Oh my gosh, heck yeah! And I love that. Yeah, there's a budget. That's exactly it. There's a budget. Sometimes you give a list of things that you like to help them.
Yeah.
But depending on what type you want, is it a funny one, or is it one that that you want to be? So it happens. It happens at work. I mean, it's one of those things that's just a staple. It's pretty funny. Sometimes they even do like ornament exchanges, where you buy an ornament, and the same type of thing applies. You can do like a white elephant where you steal it. Or you could do like just an exchange, right? So, but yeah, oh my gosh, we covered an hour worth of holiday traditions, both from the U.S. and Mexico. A lot of similarities.
How about that? A lot of similarities. How about that? And I was very happy. This one, it comes close to my heart, because I don't know how many of the people listening to us are familiar with the Mexican traditions about Christmas, because again, this is something that happens pretty much all around the world, but every country has their specific traditions. And I think and I believe that in Mexico, it's very beautiful, it's very traditional. Again, we are mostly a Catholic Christian country, so it's very much around all the Jesus Maria Jose situation, and it's very family, and it's a great time to be around friends and neighbors and like get together overall. And yeah, I hope you can give it a chance, and you can have some romerito sometime, and have delicious ponche, because that's a staple, and tamales, of course. And yeah, this I love this episode.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking forward to it. And now I know we're gonna take a little bit of a break leading up to New Year's, so we'll be back.
Mhm.
The week leading up to New Year's and getting ready for. Actually, we'll be New Year's Eve is when we'll come out. So, hey, from the Stash and Lash Studios, we want to wish you and your family a merry, happy, very Christmas. Enjoy time with family, friends. Try some of the stuff we talked about. Feel free to share your
Let us
traditions
know.
with us. Yeah, share your traditions with us. Like, hey, what about this? And maybe we'll be like, oh yeah, we celebrate that too. Or I've never
Mhm.
heard of it. Let me find
Mhm.
out. And maybe we can even use this for next year's episode and be like, hey, last year we got a good recommendations. Let's talk about those. You never know.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never know. So yeah,
So
thank you.
comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe us. Please follow us on all the social media platforms. Send us your love and your well wishes. We're gonna send you our love and well wishes from again the Stash and Lash Studios. Aquí el Stash Show, along with
The Lash. Merry Christmas, everyone. Stay
Merry
safe.
Christmas and a Happy New Year's, everybody. Merry Christmas. Bye. Ho ho ho. Oh snap.
Oh snap! Snap!